So before we started the band, me and Pat really wanted to make a studio at his parents' house. This is like 2005. All of our, bands from our youth decided that no one else in those bands really wanted to be in a band anymore. We were young and a little dumb, thinking that we could just turn Pat's parents' house into a studio. And that didn't work out, and luckily, John came along and decided he wanted to be in a band. And then the Maine started. We were lucky enough to have stumbled upon this place. We couldn't ask for more. I mean, we are now living that dream of coming here every single day and just working on stuff.
Camo bag, huh?
Dude, it was dark in here, and it's camouflage.
Something a lot of people don't know about me is that I hate drums and drum hardware and anything to do with drums. Oh, shit.
That's Stranger Things, dude.
This is the top. You can see that clearly. I'm like 80% sure that the snake box is corrected or connected correctly. Is that okay? Wait, you're gonna pull it back through. Hold on. It's gonna come through. Do you want it? So this record will technically be our second record made in Arizona, but our first record made at our actual studio. And I think for all of us it's pretty exciting because we've done small things here. We've done some writing. We've recorded smaller things, acoustic things and whatnot. But this is the first time where we get to actually hear what some of these rooms sound like. The first day for us is mostly all about dialing things in and hearing what sounds the best. And Ken brought home some great amps from a friend of ours on the East Coast. He drove them all the way back to Phoenix, so we've got a lot of stuff to kind of sift through and see what is going to end up shaping the sound of this record. And I think the plan is set up a bunch of amps in a circle and have a big shootout and see what wins.
All right, I guess just making sure that this contraption is working.
Let's go.
Really hear jazz chords?
That is a texture.
The lifelong dream for our band of owning our own studio, that's our clubhouse, that we can do whatever the hell we want at. Jump in the pool when we want, or record a record, has finally come true. And this is the time. Album 9 being made at the 8123 Clubhouse. Thinking about making this record kind of has me looking backwards a little bit, especially being in Tempe, because this is kind of like where a lot of it began for us. And takes me to the 8123 parking garage, and man, that's kind of where it all begins.
So my friends and I in high school, probably sophomores, freshmen, we would, instead of running around partying, we would run around but cause trouble.
goof off. And we stumbled upon a parking garage in Tempe where it was late at night. We would drive up there after everybody who worked at the building would go home from work. And we would just listen to music really loud, figure out how to use curse words, smoke clove cigarettes, and just be teenagers. And that sort of is the origin of 8123. The parking address right in front of it had 8123, so we just used to go meet up there, and we'd call each other, say, hey, let's go to 8123, and that's kind of how it all began.
I guess it was kind of a place to hide out from parents and whatever, and so it kind of felt like your own little clubhouse, and kind of a secret spot. And I think when you're that age, there's something really fun about doing something that feels a little bit like you can get kicked out because you're not supposed to be on the property, but you're not really causing any harm, So John put the numbers 8123 in our song on our first record. And it says 8123 means everything to me. And from that moment on, our fans started to attach to it, and we kind of explained where it came from. And now it's really like so deep in the core of who we are as a band. And it's just like some numbers can mean a lot more than just numbers.
Very first tour back in 2007, we were in my dad's Suburban, and we'd gone to the East Coast, and I think we had 2 weeks of shows booked. It might have been longer. I don't really remember. And some got canceled. Some 4 people came. Some were amazing. Some it could have been 50 people, but it felt like 5,000.
What are we gonna do at the mall now that we're not flying?
What? Well, do we have any demos?
Yeah.
We'll just take a demo, and if they have a Zoomies, we'll just see if they...
Actually, hey, we have those original demos, the 3 songs. We can just pass those out.
Yeah.
The new ones I don't want to pass out.
For these shows, since you're not solely doing merch, what should we do with the tip money?
Just put it towards.
Just grub. Yeah, we could put it towards per diem.
For the next year.
Or we could put it towards gas.
Dude, it's not even gonna touch.
What?
I think we should just eat off of it.
No.
Especially tonight, because we have $100 guarantee. So.
Put it towards gas?
No.
Oh.
We're just doing drums so you guys can sit all that stuff over there, maybe. And we have to pick up the rack.
Yeah.
And then I brought jumper kit, bungee cords. Yeah. You just pick it up without wearing it on the phone.
Well, are they in the back of the Bourbon?
They're inside the rack.
I tried the music thing when I was younger, did it for a long time, and so started going down this other path of okay, well, what's my life going to be like if this isn't going to work out? And then several months, I think probably after the first semester, I got a call from John, and I found out that the Maine was doing a run of shows. They were planning to head out east, and they needed someone to fill in. And at that point, I had listed most of the remaining gear that I had on Craigslist. I was going to sell everything because I had to pay my bills. So I had heard demos at that point, and I went to see the guys play a show, and I was like so desperate to get out of this situation that I felt like I was about to be locked into for the rest of my life. So I was like, yeah, I'll go. And there was no like guarantee on anything. It was kind of like, hey, this is the first like tour that we're going to attempt to do. It's kind of like self-booked, self-promoted. And I mean, I was down for anything at that point. I just wanted, like, I really wanted back in, and it seemed like, in my mind, after seeing what everybody had already done, the music that I had heard, the demos and stuff that John had showed me, I was like, this feels like a pretty safe bet. Some shows happened, some shows didn't happen. It was kind of like, you know, how it would be if you just put everything in a van and set out to play some shows. And towards the end of it, the dudes were like, hey, you should just be in the band.
First real night in the trailer, or in the suburban. It's not a trailer. Jared, are you gonna take me in Medios, dude?
Yeah, get ready to get your Nintendo DS out, dude. You're done for.
We had a show booked in Philly at the Troc, and I remember that was one of the only shows on the tour that seemed like an actual venue. Like, it was like, oh my god, we're playing the Troc. Like, I had heard of it before, and you know, it was like exciting because a lot of the places were just like teen clubs or like pizza joints, like weird, just like the weirdest places that book shows. And so it was like one of the only venues on the actual tour, and we get a call that morning, like as we're heading into the city, that the show was canceled. And because I mean maybe 10 tickets were sold, so we were just like so bummed. But they were super nice, and they were like, yeah, we'll show you the venue like that you were gonna play.
Way cool. Floor was the lights are right.
Oh, what?
Oh, no way. This is awesome. Well, high roller? That's hilarious. That is so rad.
Man, this would have been so fucking cool. But whatever, it got canceled, and as we're like kind of hanging in the parking lot trying to figure out what to do, we noticed that like 20 people end up coming wanting to go to the show, and so we're like, fuck it, let's just play acoustic.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Probably better.
It has no battery, right?
So we can do this like right now. Alright, bring it in. Looks like you are so cute, the way we move is so outrageous.
But they're there, and they were super excited to meet it. We hung out with everyone, and I mean, I remember that day perfectly. And it's amazing because, you know, 6 months later, we played the same venue, and it was completely sold out. And it was like, I remember that show perfectly because it was like last time you were here, the show didn't even happen because no one gave a fuck. And you go back 6 months later, and the room's packed, and it's sweaty and amazing. And yeah, it's wild to think back on those moments and just how quickly things actually did happen.
Want her, she's that type, I can't tell. Let me get in too deep, take her back to the hotel.
Dude, this is like what he's saying about documented shit. Though. You can't like start it off like the camera looking.
When I think back early on, like one of the craziest moments, you know, I think in life there's all these forks in the road that happen, and you don't know what would have happened if one event, you know, didn't happen. And one night I was at home, and it was probably midnight, and you know, I was a sophomore in high school, and I get a call from Tim, my older brother, and he has John on the phone, and they're all drunk, and John's like, I want to be in your band. And I was like, you're a baseball player, like you're not a singer, what are you talking about? And I thought he was just messing with me. He's like, no, I'm serious, I was like, all right, we'll come to my house tomorrow. So he comes by in the morning and brings his guitar, and he plays a cover by a band called Ivory, and he plays the song, and I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing. I record it on my computer, I burn it onto a CD, instantly drive to Garrett's house, and I'm just like freaking out, probably crying, because I cry when I get overly excited about things, I guess, when it comes to the band. Garrett instantly is like, this is amazing, and the band forms the next week.
It's John. Right now we're in Riverside, California. We so far haven't played any shows yet on our tour, but I am really incredibly stoked right now. We're finally, in my eyes, getting stuff ready for what we believe is what we're going to be doing for the rest of our lives. We're getting an idea of what approach we want to take to everything. I'm finally feeling like, you know, this is what we will be looking like and what we will be doing for some time to come. I mean, we got a lot of shit to think of. And on top of all that, all the while we got to be doing the MySpace stuff and stuff like that, so we get a hefty work to it.
There's a way to get the magic tone.
Oh, yeah.
Take a
Real tubes. It's been a while. I know, right? Jeez Louise, dude. Actually reacted. Oh! Wow!
Daddy's here!
Wow.
So I knew about the dude here.
Huh?
Well, I saw you here, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you saw this, right?
But this is awesome.
What's
Yeah.
up, puppy?
What's up, bud?
Welcome back.
Much better.
Oh, so much. You could do so many activities.
Yeah.
Pat has sort of set the foundation for what is going to be the record. The arrangements are done. The drum sound is there, which is, I think, very unique for us in that it just doesn't sound like any of the other tones on any of the records that we've done. It's a lot more focused. It's a lot more in your face. I think now the sort of the heavy lifting begins. It's all the decision making. It's all the, you know, the fine tuning along the way, and I think a huge portion of what becomes the difficulty of making records is the commitment process and coming to terms with agreeing on things. Now it's decision making time.